Okay. Let's see if I can fix this. My thing went loose. I haven't tightened the screw yet, so it's being a pain. Damn it. That'll have to do. Anyway, having a lazy day today. Just, you have any questions? Maybe you're curious about going vegan and, just the only thing stopping you is the answer to a few questions. That's what today's live is about. Otherwise, I want to talk to the vegans and what are your favorite vegan products and where do you find them? So we'll give it some time, let some people come in. You got to be over 18. Yeah, it's a hard watch. Which, the point is, if you can't watch it, why demand it? But yeah, Dominion's a good documentary. I always suggest people watch it, just so you know what those labels mean, I actually looked up what those definitions mean, and it's so sad. Most of it, they can still be confined in cages, like cage free and humane raised, and all these certifications, either they're not enforced or they're minimal difference. It's really sad. I thought at least there were some labels that maybe meant what they meant or what they say, but no. That's what happens though when animals are viewed as, or sentient beings are viewed as objects, instead of subjects. But yeah, I want to invite, if you're vegan for the animals, because I don't really care about vegan for diet, but or health or environment, whatever. But if you're a vegan for the animals, I would love to hear what products you enjoy, and yeah, what your favorite products and where to find them. There are always lies in the food industry, so true. Yeah. Honestly, it doesn't even matter about those labels. It was just more learning about what they actually meant. But Dominion shows you, firsthand what's allowed under that label. But yeah, there's no right way to exploit someone. There's no way to remove the exploitation. You can't kindly exploit someone. It'll always be unfair. That's true. That's a good one. Silk dairy-free yogurt. It's good. I actually haven't had a vegan yogurt in a while just because, I don't know. I have a lot of smoothies and it kind of satisfies that need. I shouldn't say a lot. I just have a smoothie a day, but anyway. I think hunting's wrong. I think that's someone living in their home, minding their own business, and you're taking them out for entertainment. If it was really about environmental reasons, then I think professionals should be handling that. And I would hope that if they're caring about the best interest of the individual, the deer or all the other animals, that they would first try other methods, non-lethal methods, possibly even non-interventional methods. God, I can't get my words out. Basically, I don't think human hands should be a big part of it, but if we need to, I would rather professionals handle hunting. I have not always been a vegan. I've only been a vegan 9 years. No, veggies Well, actually, I'm not religious, so maybe veggies do have souls. Yeah, I don't care if you're not wasting the animal. It's not about whether you use all of them or not. It's about, do you actually need to take their life? You know, is what you're doing necessary? Or are you doing it because you benefit from this exploitation? Vegans are against exploitation. So if animals are not being exploited for it, then yes, vegans probably vape. I love mushroom steaks. I think it's called meaty. I think it's meaty. Meatly? I don't know. There's a mushroom root that they use to make a steak. It's really good. An animal is a subject. Subjects are conscious. Animals are conscious. Subjects are having their own experience of the world, a unique experience. They have subjective emotions. They're weighing out their experiences and deciding whether they like them or not. They avoid harm. They want to stay comfortable. Animals are sentient, and that's all that matters when it comes to using someone. You know, are they having their own experience? Do they have the capacity to suffer? Then what right do you have to invade their world and use them for your benefit without their consent? You know? I don't know what the paleotarian diet is. No, see, but birds are still sentient beings. You know, birds are really intelligent. Chickens, specifically, and turkeys, they purr when you pet them. No, sentience is binary. Sapience is intelligence. You can get that in degrees. You can eat carnivorous plants. I don't know if they're healthy for you. I don't know if they're safe either. I shouldn't say you should just do it, but that's something you should look into. I don't eat those. I'm gonna judge others for harming individuals when they don't need to. It doesn't matter what we're made to do. We can thrive on a plant-based diet. So if we can live without using someone, I think we should. Yes, I'm vegan. Pro-life, pro-choice, doesn't matter. Okay, I'm gonna jump down. Apparently I fell behind. Yeah, again, it doesn't matter. The problem with eggs are not the egg itself. It's who you took the egg from, and where they came from in their history. Where's her brother? All females will basically have a male brother, the way that evolution works. So if someone has chickens and they have maybe one or two males and mostly females, there should be more males. Where are the males? Most of the time they're unalived. If you get your chickens from a hatchery, they are ground up alive in a giant macerator. I'm not talking about pesticides and fungicides, but any issue you have with crop farming at all is compounded by using animals, because animals eat more crops than humans do. Yeah, it's not about the egg. Again, it's about the mother, the one that laid the egg, okay, and her history. They come from what are called the red jungle fowl. They only lay 13 eggs a year, and we took them out of their home, made her mate with a male that she wouldn't normally mate with, so they would make a deformed baby that would fit our needs. That's not fair. Yeah, you don't need to keep either chickens or roosters. They actually find that the least amount of animal products and the higher amount of plant products, the longer lived and higher quality of life. So not necessarily pescatarian. They're not, plants are not sentient though. I just told you that chickens come from the red jungle fowl. And then we mated them and we made all the varieties. Well, I mean, you could say the same thing. Why can't I punish humans for being stupid? Right? That's not moral. Just because we deem someone lesser, you're picking an arbitrary trait and saying, because of this arbitrary trait that I deem lesser, I can oppress you. That doesn't make sense. When you look at history, any time that we've used arbitrary traits to justify oppression and exploitation, we don't get moral progression. We go backwards. Yes, about the chickens. They come from the red jungle fowl. The wild ancestor of chickens was not laying eggs every week. They only laid 13 eggs a year, and it was usually during the springtime. We've mutated them. We've demanded their bodies grow at weird rates, you know? You should go look up the history of a chicken. You don't need to breed them in, don't demand them into existence. Don't buy eggs, don't buy chickens, don't buy their flesh, don't buy their feathers, don't buy anything from them. That's you supporting their oppression and exploitation directly. You're demanding, I want more of this, I like the price, I like it. They like, the producers are going to be like, oh, this person likes this, I'm going to make more. You demand the next individual go through that system. It doesn't matter about living longest. It's about your victims. It doesn't, again, even if you believe in sentient plants, we feed more plants to animals. Just because someone can dominate someone doesn't mean they have the moral right to dominate. An adult has more awareness than a child. Doesn't give them the right to take advantage of a vulnerable child. We mutated living sentient beings. We mutated them. Plants are not sentient. They don't have a preference. They just have reactions to stimuli. That's it. Yeah, exactly. Some chickens don't lay every day, though, so understand, suspended account, that not everyone does what you do. Like, yes, do you think that's right to go from 13 eggs a year to over 300? Like, how does that sound better? Yeah, we can better manage our land if we went vegan. If we had a vegan world, we could reduce our land use by 75%. It means we could rewild that and still feed everybody, and then some. No, veganism is better for the planet. All right, I'm going to skip down. You guys are just repeating yourselves. Okay. Suspended account. You're silly. You clearly are not here to learn. You're here to just repeat yourself, and that's called insanity. So. No, hunting is not moral. It doesn't matter if I hug a tree. Many herbivores have larger canine teeth than you do. We're more like herbivores, but it doesn't matter. We have evidence that we can thrive on plants, so it doesn't matter. To feed animals, you also have to clear a field to grow their food. So again, any issue you have with crop growing is compounded by using animals. Animals eat way more than humans do, okay? There's only 8 billion humans. We raise for slaughter 92.2 billion. 8 billion humans, 92.2 billion animals. Who do you think eats more? We're growing crops for them. They take up 83% of our ag land and only give us 18% of our calories. So you're kidding yourself if you think you're going to... We're not even feeding the world right now. We have starving children because we have to feed the animals, right? You have to have fat animals. Starving children. You can eat fat animals and have starving children. That's okay. That's moral. Because you're taking someone out in their home. That's why hunting's wrong. Why not give them birth control if you need to control their populations? Or, improve the environment so that they don't come into your area. You don't need to hunt. Absolutely, a hardworking man can live on plants, and I would argue that a man would protect, those that cannot protect themselves. You want to go with typical gender roles. They don't need them to survive, but it's nice to have supplements because they're easy. Yeah, so stop making these animals overgraze. It seems pretty clear. Because vegans like flavor. So if animal's not food, why food shape? I mean, animals are not... The animals that you eat, when you eat them, are not in the shape of the animal that you eat. They're in different shapes. So I don't understand what your point is. But the reason why a lot of vegan stuff looks like animal-based foods is because it's cultural. And vegans aren't against flavor. We're against exploitation of a sentient being when it's unnecessary. Yes, you can live vegan without taking supplements. You would have to plan carefully, just like you would with any diet. I don't know if you're aware, most people are actually deficient in something because they don't know how to eat. Most people don't know how to eat. Actually, men and women, all genders burn calories, so it's not just men. But you're right, men do burn calories. Yeah, vegan burgers taste good. I don't know much about autism, so don't ask me about that. Do you know that 80% of soy is fed to the animals that you use? 80%. So any issue you have with crop farming is compounded by using animals. God, I feel like a repeat machine here. Everyone always comes up with crop dust and they think that they've got this gotcha, and it's hilarious. It's like, so you clearly didn't do research before saying your comment. It's like saying... It's like when everyone knows to say island and the one person reading it says island, and it's like, oh, I'm so embarrassed for you. Again, it doesn't matter what someone else would do to you. That doesn't give you the right to do that. Oh, they were gonna attack me, even though they haven't, so I'm going to attack them. Also, you're talking about cows, pigs, sheep. Most of these are just herbivores. Like, why would they even care about us? If they could dominate us, they wouldn't want to eat us. If anything, they just use us for labor. I mean, you guys can come up here as long as you're over 18. Yeah, but you're shoving knives into someone else's throat. What do you think that person thinks? Oh, does everyone have access to a psychiatrist? That's amazing. Okay, but what about the animals' opinions? Yeah, I know, right? Psychiatrist for dietary. Do you know your doctors? If anything, I would go to a dietitian. 2,000 to 8,000 hours focused on how nutrition affects your health. That's great. Oh, Ozark. Oh my God, I just realized that's you. Hey, it's good to see you. Enforce it. So the only way you'll listen to what veganism is if there's a policeman holding a gun to you or something. Like, what? Enforce it? I know a little bit about agriculture. No, I don't get headaches all the time. Yeah, but I'm talking to you, you know. If anybody comes up here, I'd be talking to them. But what can you do? What do you want to support? You know, do you want to support someone being oppressed? Hey, you tops. How's it going? It's good to see you. I'm having a lazy live today, so. Actually, if you believe that Jesus unalived, you should, well, first off, ask yourself, how would Jesus do that? And second of all, watch Christspiracy, because they talk about that. It's a good documentary. Yes, but wouldn't it be preferable if we could let the animals live? If we could find a way to feed everyone without unaliving animals, wouldn't that be preferable? So if you enjoy harming animals, what does that say about you? No, you need vegetables, or at least some kind of plant. You have to get your vitamin C somehow. You can't get it through eating liver because you'll get vitamin A toxicity. Non-medical veganism? What the hell is medical veganism? Lodi. Hey.
Hi,
Are you over 18?
I am indeed.
Okay, right on. Have we spoken before?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. It said that you were a recent guest for some reason, so I was like, I didn't recognize you.
Yeah, I maybe I came into your room like a few minutes ago and then I left.
Oh,
Maybe that's
okay.
why.
Maybe that's what it meant. Anyway, so what's up? You have a question?
Um, what's so good about being a vegan?
I'm living in alignment with my own principles to not use someone without their consent for my benefit.
Okay, interesting. And what is the goal? Are you trying to convert everybody to become vegan?
My goal as to why I'm vegan?
Well, yeah. I guess while you're here, I'm guessing you're trying
Oh, I
to
just want to answer
reach the
questions. If I'm going for people that are curious about veganism and maybe it's just a few questions holding them back.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I've seen every single vegan documentary out there. Um, I've
Okay.
seen all the ones like what's that noise? Yeah, I've seen it,
Oh,
but I
my
don't know for
partner
some
is
reason
a
I just
programmer.
still. Oh, okay. Yeah. So basically, I've seen all the vegan documentaries out there, but I still it doesn't do anything for me. I just still like eating meat.
Okay.
Is that a bad
Well,
thing?
it just comes down to do you feel that it's moral to use someone who has the capacity to suffer and is having a subjective experience Is it moral to exploit them?
Okay, I mean, but we've been eating meat since the dawn of time.
Well, I mean, that doesn't change my question, though.
Um, I guess we've got to be morally selective when it comes to those type of things because at the end of the day, that's our food, right?
So, when is it morally acceptable to use someone without their consent?
Well, are we talking about humans here? Are we talking about food?
I'm talking about subjects, talking about individuals that are having a subjective experience and have the capacity to suffer.
Um, when you say that, I just automatically think humans.
Sure, but it's probably because animals don't look like you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when you
If
look
they
at a
looked like
human,
us, then if animals look like us, then we wouldn't eat them.
yeah, when you see a human, you realize because you're having a subjective experience and you want to continue living, that that other human is probably doing the same thing, right?
Correct. Correct.
Right, right. So we've now learned that all sentient beings share this in common. So I'm saying if we want that respected in us by not being exploited or violated without our consent, then we have a moral obligation to do that for others that have the same capacity.
But was that conversation? You just mentioned something about humans.
I can't hear you.
You said something about humans. What's that got to do with animals?
Well, because I told you that the only thing that matters is the fact that someone's having a subjective experience, right? And the capacity to suffer. We don't necessarily care how smart someone is. We don't care if they contribute to society. We don't care if they have loved ones, right? Doesn't matter. They themselves value what happens to them, humans. Doesn't matter their intelligence, etc., right? That human cares what happens to them. And it would be wrong,
Yeah.
even if they're vulnerable, to take advantage of them and violate them.
Yes, correct. Humans. If we're talking
So
about
then,
humans, correct.
right. So then, what is it that morally separate? Like, even if what if a human was born totally deformed? We would still want to respect that human, right?
Well, I'll prefer if you knew before they were born, then it would be better to, I guess, abort them.
Okay. So let's say they didn't know. So this individual is born, and they're very deformed,
If you,
but they're gonna live. They're gonna be sentient.
yeah. But
But
they'll
we don't
still be
exploit that
human at the end
human,
of
right?
the day.
Right.
But
So then,
we still know they're human.
what is it about that individual that we value? I've said it a couple of times, but I'm now asking you if you recognize what I'm talking about. That human that we just described, what is it in
Uh huh.
them that stops us from exploiting them and just using them for resources?
Well, because they're still human, and it's not like they're animals, unless it was
Okay,
like a absolutely
what if it
like
was an
weird
unalived
scientific.
human? Right? No one cares about this human.
Mm-hmm. What if it was an
Do
unalive
you
human?
care
What are you trying to
more?
do?
Do you care about an unalived human more than you care about an alive human?
I'm not sure how you're trying to ask that question. Of course, I
If
care
you had
about the
to
unalive
pull out
human
of a
if it was someone
fire
close to me.
someone who is alive but
Uh huh.
or a dead human, who are you going to pull out of the fire?
Well, of course, the one that's alive.
Right. Okay, so
The human's already dead.
you do value something that is beyond just being human, right?
Not
There's
really. We're
something
talking
about that
about
human.
what are
Okay,
you
all right.
talking
So
about?
you're telling me you don't recognize that humans are sentient.
Well, of course I do, but I'm not
Okay,
sure where
so
you're going
let
here.
me ask you
You
again.
just
Is
said
human, hold
an
on, hush,
unalive
hush, hush, hush,
human.
hush, 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 hush. I want to know what you feel about human slavery. Is human slavery wrong because an individual is losing their freedom?
Of course, human slavery is wrong, but we're talking about humans here
Why is human slavery wrong?
because it's not right.
Why? You just, why is it wrong?
Because
Why?
you're taking someone against their will and making them do things they shouldn't be doing.
You're exploiting
But
them,
tho-
right? You're using
yes,
them
but those are
unfairly for your
humans.
benefit. Right. They're
Exactly.
sentient. That's what you care about in them. Do you care about how smart they are?
I care about the fact that they're human.
Do you
That's
care how
basically
smart
it.
they are?
I
Do
don't
you
care if
care
they're
how smart
smart or
they are?
I don't care if they're smart or
Look,
dumb. They're still
Lodi,
human.
saying just that they're human is like saying, well, I'm one color and they're another color. That's all it is. It's
No,
an
it's
arbitrary
not.
trait.
Oh,
You
no, it's
it
not.
is. Is it
You're
DNA
you're
then?
white and black. We're still human.
Is it
We're both
DNA?
human.
Okay, so would you
It's not
exploit
DNA.
Superman?
Well, Superman is an alien, right? If
Yeah.
I could exploit him, maybe I could, but he's not. He
Would
would
you? Do
exploit
you think
me.
that's moral?
Well, he's an alien. Why would I exploit him? He's still humanoid.
Do you think that's moral?
No, but he's Superman
Right.
is
Okay, not
human.
moral. He's
He's a
not human.
superhuman.
He's
No, but
not
he is human.
human. So we
He's a
just discovered
superhuman.
that you just contradicted yourself. So it's not
No, I
about them
didn't.
being. You
No, I
just said it's
didn't.
about
Come
being
on now.
human. He's not
Yes, but
human. He's from another
Superman.
planet.
Yes, but he's still human. He's a
He's
humanoid.
not human. Lodi,
Yes,
I'm gonna
he
kick
is.
you. Goodbye. You have a good day.
Why?
Because you're ridiculous. Like, I don't think you understand how many pretzels you're tying yourself in to deny animals their rights. Okay? If I was kicking a dog, I guarantee you'd tell me to stop. And hearing you say you might exploit Superman is disgusting. So I'm moving on. Oh, hey, Ciara. I was trying to have a lazy live and then they changed
That's
it.
all. Yeah, that's always how it goes with these.
Yeah. I wasn't even like poking him for stuff. He was poking for a fight. That was kind of funny. He wanted
Just
me to
as
convert him. He's
Yeah,
like,
just as soon as people see vegan, they want to argue.
yeah. I feel like he came up here because he wanted me to spank him. Like he's into that kind of thing. Like you
Most of
should get
these
my
men
consent
are.
first. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, how are you today?
I'm okay. Had a busy day at work, but
Oh,
yeah, I'm all right. How are you?
I'm okay. I was doing okay until I started getting all rough and tough.
I mean,
uh, yeah, it's gonna happen. I'm out here to talk about it anyway, but I don't know. I don't understand people. I wanted to talk to genuinely curious people. I didn't want to debate. So
I know. I feel like that's tough, though.
it is. It's hard to find those people.
It
I
is.
yeah. I won't answer your question. Well, I wanted you to talk about your favorite vegan products and also about your TikTok shop. If anyone doesn't
Yes.
know, they should go check out Ciara's TikTok shop.
Yes,
She has
lots
a
of
lot of good
vegan
stuff.
skincare. Lots of great vegan Korean skincare on my TikTok shop.
Yes. Skincare. So I've been using I think it's called Acura. I don't know. I can't remember now. Let me go grab it. Ah, starts with an A. Acure. That I've been using. Oh
Oh,
wait, it's
oh
flipped.
yeah. Yep. I've
Um,
tried that brand before. I didn't love it, but
yeah, it's
maybe you
like the
like
only
it.
thing I really have around me. There's one other brand. I can't remember what it is, but there's another brand that I was looking at too. But yeah, I want to hear about yours. So you were saying yours is better than this,
Um,
or at
I
least
just,
you just talk about your experiences. Whatever.
yeah, I just didn't particularly love that brand. Thank you, Peace for All Who Live. Um, I've lately been using a lot of Korean skincare because it's way better than like American skincare. They have a lot of different ingredients that that you don't really see in American skincare. They focus on like anti-aging and like repair and
Oh, that's
moisture.
awesome.
Um, so yeah, like definitely look at like if you want the top tier, definitely look at the Korean stuff
That's
and yeah, I
awesome.
have been trying a lot of it lately and it's all great.
That's good.
Um,
And but that's what you have on your
yeah,
wall, right? Yeah.
yeah, it's all
Cool.
it's all
Okay.
Korean, I think. Yeah.
Snap. Maybe
You
I'll
can
check
even,
that
if
out
you go
after
to like
this.
stores like, oh, sorry, I think there's a bit of a delay on my end, but go ahead.
Oh, it might be me. Maybe it's my headphones. I'm sorry. I'll mute
No,
myself so
you're
that
good.
way it's only purposeful when I speak.
No, don't, no, you're fine. Don't mute yourself.
No, I just mean
I,
like in between.
oh, I'm wearing earbuds too, so it might be me. Um, but anyway,
Yeah, that's awesome.
sorry.
No,
Yeah, what did you say?
you also had like the gummies. Those gummies were really good.
Yeah, yeah, those are still in my showcase. There's
Oh
like the
hell yeah.
Swedish candy, and then there were some protein gummies. But unfortunately they stopped selling them on TikTok Shop, but those are pretty good too.
Nice.
Um, yeah, and there are these little like rice cake snacks called
Mm,
Drizzlicious, and those are really good too. I posted a video about those recently.
I love rice
Uh,
cakes. Cakes. I haven't been looking on TikTok lately, so I just need to go on your page and go down everything. I feel like I've missed a lot now.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I get a lot of
Well,
like the skincare like TikTok shop videos and stuff, and like obviously I can't buy everything, but like if I need something, like I wanted like a gel face wash cleanser because I find the gel cleansers like work really well to like get deep into your skin and like clean your skin. Um,
mm,
and so I found one on TikTok Shop for like $10 and it was from a really good like Korean brand. So I was like, hell
yeah,
yeah.
only $10. That's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, mine was like I'm pretty sure it was like I don't know, maybe 15, $20. I don't remember it being cheap.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. You kind of just have to like look at prices on
Yeah, you gotta
TikTok
look
Shop and
around.
stuff, and sometimes you get really good deals.
That's true. That's awesome. Well, do you want to talk about like why you became vegan or like what drew you to veganism?
Yeah, I can.
I mean, if you don't want to, I
So
don't want to pressure you. I could just bring people up as they request. I actually haven't checked.
yeah, that's fine too. Whatever.
Well, because I really wanted to like feature you. You were like my main goal for this. Because I
Oh,
know you have a lot of
sweet.
good options. Yeah. Well, I mean, I want to support all my vegan,
Yeah.
people out there. So I'm really glad that you're at least bringing to light all these awesome like vegan products, which makes it really
Yeah.
convenient to point people to find stuff. People
Hmm.
often talk about products like cosmetics and stuff, and they don't take the time to look things up. So if they can go somewhere
Yeah.
that's already vegan, it's super easy.
Yeah, I mean, all you have to do is Google it, right? If you like
That's
see
honestly
something,
really true. Yeah, it's
yeah,
really easy to just to
if you
Google stuff.
see
That's
something you want to
often,
use, yeah, all
yeah,
you have to do is Google it, and you can always find an alternative too, is the
yeah,
thing. That's just
that's
as
true.
good.
Yeah. Um, when I first went vegan, there weren't a lot of vegan products in general. So,
Yeah.
you just used Google, and a lot of people had already invented, meals and how to imitate everything. So it was
Yeah.
still super easy back then. But yeah,
Yeah, that's so
there's so
true.
many things now.
The vegan bloggers and YouTubers were, the OGs.
Yeah,
Really helped us
exactly.
out.
They did. They did. They recreated a lot of great stuff that brought back a lot of childhood memories, even though it wasn't exactly it. It was enough that I was like, oh, this is it. I found my replacement.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice.
Should I bring someone up?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Hey, Johnny. Hey, are you over 18?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Did you
just
have a
done that,
question?
mate. Yeah, I was just wondering what your perspective was on So say for instance your local surroundings, and that's all there is that's available is your local surroundings, wherever you may live. Do you think that there's viable food source just around you without using meat as a product?
Yes, I do.
You think there's enough there to feed you, enough carbohydrate, enough protein, enough everything
Yes.
just around you as your
Does
local.
everyone have that access? No.
So what would be their survival option? You know, their first survival option if there were things that were alive and there's nothing
I'm
else to
sorry.
eat.
So, like, what does this question have to do with veganism?
Well, it was the discussion you were having with the guy previously. Obviously, slightly heated, but it made me think about what would be the options. You were saying about famine. You were saying about people starving, and I thought to myself, well, what is the motive for people starving? Genuinely, the motive it would to me
So
it
the
would be famine. It would be
veganism is about
drought and things like
okay,
that.
okay, Johnny. Okay, thank you. So veganism is a stance against the exploitation of sentient beings. Okay? It's about not demanding someone's use for you when they didn't consent. That's what veganism is about. If you're concerned that people abstaining from using animals is bad for the planet, you'll be happy to learn that a vegan planet would actually decrease our pressure on the planet. We would use only a quarter of our current agricultural land to feed our current population and then some. So right now we're only at 8 billion people and we have some starving people because we have to have fed animals. So we're prioritizing growing crops to feed the animals. We could feed everybody on plants if we got rid of animal ag. Did that answer your question? Are you vegan now? I can't hear you if you're outside of the app. All right. Well, Johnny, you have a great day. It was a great question, I guess. It had nothing to do with veganism, but appreciate you trying.
Like, I don't get it. It's
I
literally
don't either.
2025.
Yeah. Again, you could find this information on Google.
Yeah.
Like, you could easily look this up. But, it's fine. I wanted questions. It's just, I don't know why everyone is so, it's so passive of a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. The people who are the most wrong and who know the least about veganism are always the ones who request up and like think they have a gotcha,
Yeah.
or the ones leaving comments on your like several comments on your videos and you're like you literally have no idea what you're talking about.
Yes. Yes. All right, Brayden, do you have a question?
Yeah. Do you believe in
Oh,
God?
God, are you over 18? You got to be over 18, Brayden.
That is a no.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, though. I would love to answer your question. You can ask it in the chat. I just don't feel comfortable talking to children, so. La Mufiette.
Hi.
Are you over 18?
Yes, I'm 32.
Okay, right on. What's your question?
Well, I would like to discuss about like the limits and stuff. I used to be vegan, and I think I could be again. And I still like have this. And I'm not talking about plant-based. Like no. I used to be vegan, and I still have this like, the same thinking that you have, but like I question myself, and also like I just stopped putting all my energy into this, and like I started to put it in something else. And then I just became lazy about like choosing what I eat. And also like I'm very poor, so I just take what they gave me, but I could tell them to not give me meat, but then I would have like less options, so I prefer to have more options. But yeah, anyway.
Okay. You said like you go to a food bank?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If you asked for no animal products, they would give you less?
Yeah, it would be like less option. I mean, they're cool. I mean, I like when they mix both, because I like the vegan option, but they don't have a lot. It's mostly like sometime tofu, and then if they don't have tofu, it's like beans. And like, let's be real, like I love the taste of meat and most of meat.
Okay.
And
So it
like,
more comes down to taste pleasure because
yeah, but it's also like
you
you're
can
poor and you
make.
want to be happy, you know.
Okay.
So
So
yeah,
so the
that's
question
mostly.
comes down to, is your 15 minutes of pleasure worth someone's entire existence?
Well, it doesn't really affect them, and I would say yes.
It doesn't affect them to take their
Free
ability to
meat,
have
yeah,
future
yeah, free
they
meat.
no, you're not listening to me. The animals themselves are having an experience, right? A subjective experience of the world.
Uh huh.
The animals that you're using, they are experiencing the world, right?
Yeah.
Yes, right. Okay. And they have the capacity to suffer.
Uh huh. But do
All
you
right. No,
boycott
no, no,
everything from
no.
Israel?
I don't think you're listening to me. I need you to actually listen. Okay.
I
They are
do. Good.
sentient. They're sentient, feeling beings. What do you think they feel about having their life taken from them?
I can put the camera if you want to see my face, because maybe it's because, you know, I don't know.
No,
There we go.
that's okay.
Hi.
I don't need your camera on. I do appreciate it. That's not the problem.
Well, maybe because you don't understand how like my face is, so you think I'm not listening.
Okay.
But you're not answering the questions. That's why.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It just felt like he wasn't listening. Yeah.
No, he wasn't
He
answering
wasn't.
the questions.
Right, exactly. I was like, I'm going to give you a couple of tries and I'm just going to move on. I really don't want to argue with people. I'm really trying to, I don't know, maybe I kicked him too soon. I would invite you back up if you want to come back up. Todd. Bring Todd up for
No,
now.
yeah, no, I mean, they weren't answering. They were just saying whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't need to have their camera on.
Yeah, I don't need to see your camera. And it's because I don't need to see people showing me what they're eating and whatever their body looks like. I don't need to see any of that. We're just having a conversation. I just want to hear your thoughts. That's all I'm about. Okay. Lamufiette, I will let you up one more time, but I will kick you if it feels like if we're not having a back and forth, okay?
Well, that was
Oh,
rude, but okay.
That's
okay.
her
Well,
life.
I was going to say, it's my life. I will drop you. I will interrupt you. If you don't like that, you can leave. I understand that's frustrating, but that's the way it works. So,
Well, let's be respectful towards each other. Like that's
no,
all.
you don't get to tell me how to do my live. If I want to, I'll just kick you right now, right? I don't need to
Okay.
do
So do you
anything.
agree that we should be respectful towards each other? Like that's the deal?
I think that do you think we should respect animals?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Can you respect someone while using them at the same time without their consent?
Yeah. No.
Correct. Right. So then what is it that morally justifies doing this to animals?
I don't.
Okay. So if you wanted to go vegan, why don't you just go on Google, type how to go vegan with your budget?
Oh yeah. So I don't have a budget for food. I just take what they gave me, and then yes, I choose to eat the meat because it doesn't affect the animals because it's
So what
free.
you're telling me is you're not vegan because you prioritize your taste pleasure over someone
No,
having a subjective
I
experience.
prioritize my other stuff that I have to do. Like
So,
I try to boycott Israel, but it's very difficult. And
so
so like
why
I do
did
what
you
I
come
can, but
up?
I don't do everything, you know.
Why did you come up here? It sounds like you don't want to have a genuine conversation about veganism.
No, I do. I'm talking about the limits, but then
No,
here
no,
I
no,
don't see that we can explore the limits together.
because we're trying to ask you why you aren't vegan, and you keep saying, "Oh, I can't be. Oh, I can't be. I just take what they give
Well,
me."
I would say like
Okay,
I know you're not gonna like it, but and sorry if I cut you because I don't hear well when I'm in the live. The sound of the microphone of the speakers are like lower. I don't know why. Um, but
continue.
so I consider myself as more like an anarchist vegan. So it's like more of a spectrum. And I know like you guys don't like that, but that's why I don't
Yeah,
like
you're not
the
vegan.
bougie vegans. But I'm an anarchist vegan, and I don't care
You're
about
not vegan
what you
though. You
think.
eat animals.
I don't really care about what you think. It's a process.
Okay, bye. Like, we're not gonna talk to you then. What are you talking about?
That's exactly what I said. That's why I booted you the first time, dude. Like you aren't willing to have a conversation. You said I'm willing to go vegan, but I'm not. Like, I literally was like, if you want to go vegan, just type in Google how to go vegan while poor. There are so many vegans that have covered how to make tasty food while being super butt-ass poor. Like, if you want to, obviously, if you have a question about veganism, absolutely throw it at me, but I just don't know where he was going.
No, and what is the point of coming on here and saying, "Oh, but I can't go vegan"? Well, then
Yeah.
why did you come up here?
Yeah. Am I
We're
supposed
trying
to
to give
have
you
the
options.
resource? Or? Yeah, I don't know what he was looking for from me. Like, what?
No,
I don't know.
they just want to argue. They just think they have a gotcha. That's all. Oh, I've
Oh,
never heard
maybe.
that before. Like,
Yeah.
no, we've heard it all millions of
Maybe,
times.
maybe what I need to do is like what Frasier says, because she's saying maybe they don't know the definition. Maybe I should ask them first. Like, what do you think it is? I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just trying to make it open for them to ask questions, and try to be the passive outreacher they always ask for.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not
Square
what they
body,
want to
not
do,
round.
though. They want to argue.
No. Yeah. Oh my gosh. My neighbor has his friend over who has a hound, so you might hear them barking.
Oh,
Hello.
Hey, Square. Oh, you look like you're low
Somebody's
on.
barking.
Yeah. My neighbor has their friend over, and they have a howly dog, which is fine. So, you
Love
have a question
dogs.
for us?
I
Yeah.
got 2 dogs. Yeah, I was just wondering, like, I think, like, in today's age, I guess it seems like I'm 41. I grew up in a time when people really didn't know about diet and were just consumed by junk. And it's only recently that, like, my wife and I, like, we really started worrying about what we eat and, and the effects of our body and the damage that we've done over the years and yada, yada, yada. But I guess, like, everybody nowadays, it seems it's like they have to be like an activist for it. It's like, why can't somebody just be a vegan and just keep to themselves and, do their thing? Like, why does it
what?
always have to be why does it always have to
What?
be a big show?
What are you talking about?
Like, why can't you be a vegan and just shut your fucking mouth? And why do
Oh,
you have
okay.
to push it on everybody?
Uh-oh. Someone's
Oh,
started
poor
glitching.
baby. He was so offended by the vegans.
He
Aw.
was. What is with such a passive question? Oh my
Go
god, I'm
cry us a
dying.
fucking river.
Oh my
Go cry to
god.
your wife. Your poor wife. Damn.
Yeah. Oh my god. Dude, wow. I just the kind of people coming out, I'm so, I don't know, I shouldn't be surprised. I was hoping that this would be more productive, but I feel like I'm going uphill again. Hey Ray,
Hello.
are you over 18?
I am. I'm 22. So.
Okay. Do you have a question?
Kind of. I'm not gonna lie. It's a similar path, but I'm not gonna be a dickhead about it. I guess. What is the vegan's reason?
What is veganism?
Well, I know what veganism is. Absence of animal-based products, whether it be food or material.
So that's what we kind of do. Like, we gravitate towards that. But why would someone abstain from using animals?
Because
Why
they
would
have
they
a
do that?
morality problem with it.
Right, but why? What could be immoral about it?
People don't like the idea of killing animals because there's a lot of exploitation and animal abuse within the meat eating industry and other animal-based businesses and practices.
So it's about the animals having a subjective experience. We don't need to use them. So why are we subjecting them to something we wouldn't tolerate as sentient beings ourselves? Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can get that. I do think like organizations like PETA and other vegan entities like that.
Well, that's not veganism. They are a nonprofit. Okay.
Yeah, they advocate a lot for like veganism, vegan practices.
Well, so again, veganism is a stance against the exploitation of sentient beings. PETA is not veganism. They just support veganism. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't have to support PETA if you don't like to, or if you don't want to. But
Yeah.
veganism is just about you principally not wanting to demand someone's exploitation and oppression.
Do you think there's a way for someone to eat meat that isn't like exploitative, or is it all just bad?
You can eat vegan meat. Yeah. I know that sounds like a gotcha, but
On par
meat really
question,
is
or
kind of
on
more
par
dis-
question. Yeah.
Yeah, so to take animal flesh is to steal someone's muscle. It will always be exploitative because you can't get consent from them. You have to take it by force.
I can kind of see that. I guess just for me, like I try and eat better quality, like farm animal.
Still stolen. You
Yeah, it's
didn't
still the loss
consent.
of a life, and if you judge all life on the same spectrum, I can see how there's no difference. But for me, it's kind of
Well, that
like,
spectrum, that line that I'm saying is similar between us is sentience, which is the only thing that we really value in other humans. Like, we don't care about their sapience, right? We don't care about if they think about thoughts. We don't care if they can do math or even take care of themselves, right? We care about the person having a subjective experience and if they have the capacity to suffer, right? That's what we respect in each other.
yeah, I'm not gonna. This is not meant to be like a dumb whataboutism or something, but like plant
No, I'm
life
here
is
for a
also.
genuine. If you have a genuine question or your thought, I have no problem answering them. It's fine.
Well, it's just like, you know, along that line of everything has sentience, everything has innate.
Well, not everything.
Well,
We only know right now that you have to have an organ, the brain, or some kind of ganglia together to have some sort of sentience, to express sentience, because you have to have some way of processing what's happening to you. Whereas like plants or mushrooms, they don't process what happens to them; they just react to stimuli.
yeah, like grass cutting, they just do their
Right.
thing. But
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, like, I guess it really is a morality thing. Because for me, it's like, I wouldn't go vegan as of right now, but I don't also have like, for me, an animal is an animal. And I get it, like, if you view it all on the
Yeah.
same binary, then
Well,
it,
so
I
again,
feel like we don't have
it's
issues.
just about what we're similar. No two humans are the same, right?
Yeah.
Right. We're different even within our species. And I'm just saying that just because animals look different, they have a slightly different priority than us, doesn't give us the right to demand their bodies be chopped up into little pieces for us or to just be used in general, like for dairy or eggs or leather or, all the other like entertainment, vivisection.
Yeah. Would
Yeah.
eggs, like, because the eggs we eat aren't fertilized, so are those also no. Because that's where I'm like, semantically, that egg that's not fertilized is never going to be anything. So it's never going to be
Right.
an animal per se,
Yeah.
but those are no
The egg
good.
itself is not sentient, which that's not really the problem. The problem is who laid the egg and who you took it from, right?
Yeah.
The chickens that we have today came from the red jungle fowl who only laid like 13 eggs a year during only part of the year. And that was to have babies, right? She didn't lay a bunch of non-fertilized eggs. She laid fertilized eggs because she was trying to have babies. So now we've taken that individual and made her mate with another individual she wouldn't mate with so that her baby was deformed to better suit our needs.
Yeah,
You see how that's not fair?
we've done genetic modification with animals and plants for agricultural
Yeah.
use.
But what's the
Obviously,
difference between them?
one's more aware of it.
Yeah, one's sentient, one isn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't necessarily making like a morality correlation between the two. I was.
Oh, okay. Well, so that's the only point behind veganism is the morality factor that
Yeah.
animals are sentient beings and they don't want to be used. We don't need to use them. So why are we demanding an innocent being be put through the scary system?
Is the aspect of veganism like going the morality component of it going beyond just I want to make a moral decision for myself and then I want to make a moral decision for like I want to advocate for this. I want to where does the activism part?
I don't know how really other vegans feel. Personally, I feel like veganism is a moral baseline. So it's
Mhm.
the least you can do is to be vegan, and that is to just abstain from supporting someone's exploitation. To me, that's moral baseline. It doesn't feel like enough though when you know someone is experiencing an injustice, and that's when you see a lot of vegans come out as activists, who I would
Mhm.
just call animal rights activists at that point. So to me,
Yeah.
there is a difference, but you could say that someone just living vegan is in a way its own activism, because if they're at work, you know, and they have work parties, their dietary preferences are considered. People learn about veganism. They start to ask questions. You know,
Mhm.
it's not necessarily that you need to go out on the streets and hold a sign, but you know, sometimes living vegan doesn't feel like enough, and sometimes it feels like it's everything. So
Yeah, because like
I would say veganism is that moral baseline, though.
I definitely get like if somebody's vegan, I don't care. Like they're vegan. Just for me, it's like any diet. There's certain reasons and decisions you make based for that, and I can totally
Well, so
get
again,
like
it's not a diet, though.
lifestyle, right?
It is a lifestyle, but it's because we're like, it'd be like an abolitionist for slavery, human slavery, right? They're going to avoid to the best of their ability supporting human slavery. They're going to try their best to not buy slave made goods that they know are made by slaves. That's what veganism is. Veganism is saying, I don't want animals to be exploited or used because we don't need to do that to a sentient being. Every time in history that we've done that to someone, we say we're not going to do that to someone. And then we find out another way that we're still using arbitrary traits
Mm-hmm.
to justify oppression and exploitation, right? We're doing this circle thing. We need to recognize when we're using someone and we don't need to not demand that they continue to be enslaved.
Yeah, I think anytime you approach something with the universal, with like a universal of like baseline, this is wrong or this is good, it gets kind of gray because by
Well, so I'm not saying that there's an objective truth. I'm saying that we
Mhm.
share principles. I'm
Yeah,
sure you agree with me that using a human, okay, using a
yeah,
human without their consent is immoral,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Nike,
Right.
Nike's
And
fair.
I'm saying that the only thing that we care about in that human is their sentience. We don't care how smart they are, who loves them, what they provide for society. It would be immoral to exploit that human because they're sentient, because they have their own purpose and their subjective experience. And I'm saying that animals have those same qualifiers. They just look different.
Yeah,
And you're the oppressor in this situation. So if you were the one in the cage, what kind of oppressor would you want? Would you want your oppressor to try to stop using you, or absolutely just avoid stop using you, possibly even advocate for your freedom?
fair, fair. Yeah, I
That's what veganism is.
yeah no, I get it. So the activism, the diet, that everything is all in its own thing, and so to be one is I get it.
Yeah,
I'm having a problem
it's a
articulating.
principled thing. It's
Yeah,
you going, I don't want to support that. Kind of like, you know, you're not going to support human slavery if you knew about it. Like if you knew your
yeah,
favorite product was being made for sure, like it was inherent in the product, you wouldn't buy the product anymore, right? You would look for an alternative.
yeah.
Like if you had to have someone sacrificed every time you bought a computer, you know, someone had to lose their head, you would think twice about buying a computer.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's why I try and go again, still the death of an animal. So semantics, but for me, it's like I try and go the route where the animal has the best life and least suffering. In the end, they are dying. In the
Okay.
end, their food and meat
Let
is
me put it, I was gonna say, let me put it this way. It's like we can raise them humanely, we could raise them conventionally, or, you know, excuse me, I mean, like we could use and slaughter them conventionally, raise and slaughter them humanely, or we could just leave them alone. What do you think the animal would prefer?
like just let them go wild and do their
No,
thing.
just
Or
in the sense of let them do what they want to do. I just mean like we take care of them because sadly we've handicapped them by
Mhm.
domesticating them. So they
Yeah,
do need our care, but instead of it being our interest that we're considering, we'd be caring for them like children. You know, we'd have their best interest in mind instead of what can we get from them. Be more like how can I make their life more comfortable until they naturally pass.
Well, I was going to say with like the passing aspect of it, like for me, the places and the farms that I try and go to, they live as happy of life as they can, and then one day their light goes out, and then
Right. So I'm
their
saying
body
again,
is
that's
given
not
to.
that's not in the animal's best interest, though. And the only reason that animal was brought into existence in the first place was so they could take their life early.
True.
So that when you force someone into existence to unalive them, and that is pure injustice, is it not?
I think it could be seen as that. I think
Yeah.
if they lived a good, peaceful life where they had veterinary care, great diet, etc., and then they died.
Well,
their body goes to something, they're morbid as it is, their skin goes to something, like they continue
so
to
Ray,
purpose
you
beyond
are free range. You're the most free range there is, right? You can do whatever you want, eat whatever you want, whatever.
Yeah.
Would that be moral for someone to come take your life because they want to nom on your insides? Even though they have grocery stores that are full of other things?
I mean, taxes are kind of high, so if they want to make it quick, I would be.
I mean, I get your jest, right? But in reality, right, it would be immoral for someone to do that to you.
On a purely
in your opinion.
In a purely morality-based case, I would not like somebody to murder me and eat my insides, no.
Right, exactly. And I'm just saying, if you want to be respected, you should respect others. That's all.
Yeah. I get that. I'll hop out because that's kind of all I had a question, but I appreciate the perspective.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming up and asking some, needed questions. People have the same questions and they need them answered. So I appreciate you coming up. Yeah. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
All right. You have a good day. I'm up for people asking questions, but I've been up here an hour. I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to go any longer. How are you feeling, Ciara?
That's up to you. Totally up to you. I could go a little longer, but totally up to you.
Let me see, where are we at as far as, let's go like another 20 minutes. Does that sound good?
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Let's do it. Okay. Matthew. Oh. Hey, Matthew, over 18?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Alright.
So do you have a question?
I wanted to build off the topic that you just brought up a couple seconds ago when you were talking with the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
How you brought up that he was when you kill an animal, it's not alright, and all that.
Did you say unalive an animal?
Yeah.
I didn't quite hear your whole statement. Sorry.
No, it's my fault. I'm trying to find something to say real quick. Alright. When you unalive an animal, or you let him roam freely, there's a certain extent that you have to let them go, because you can't just let's say cows breed on breed on breed till
of course.
Can't do it. But I like how you brought up the fact that when you kill them humanely, but doesn't that just, it's like if you watched your friend die, wouldn't that hurt you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if
Did I sound like I was for humane slaughter?
No.
Oh, okay. I was worried. I was like, I'm not. Okay, go ahead. Continue.
Also hurt the cows to watch their own people die.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
Yeah, they actually show signs of being stressed.
yes. So then, what extent would that have to go to?
What?
Killing them.
I would say we don't unalive them. I would say we stop them from procreating, which you pointed out. I would say we prevent them from procreating, whatever method that is, either separation or birth control or whatever it is. I don't take care of livestock animals, but just prevent them from procreating and then let them live out their lives, and then they pass on their own, of old age. The oldest living ones, and maybe be 20 years.
But they pass, but now they can't reproduce because you've already took away that ability.
Yeah. I don't think we should have any more domesticated animals.
So now that species after 20 years is going to disappear.
Yes. They're not a species that's beneficial for the environment if you're worried about species loss. They are actually the reason that we have biodiversity loss.
So why not kill them?
Oh, because they're sentient beings.
Yeah, but you could do it in a way. If
Of course, you could do it in a way. I'm saying that's not moral.
so, why not benefit off of what you're going to kill anyway?
Because it's not moral.
But they're going to
Just
die.
like slavery.
That
So
will-
humans are going to die. Why can't we do human slavery?
Because there's laws against that.
It's just laws. That's what stops
Yeah,
you.
you have rights. Animals do not.
So let me get this straight. You're telling me you would be okay with slavery if it were legal?
Oh no, definitely not. It's not legal.
Okay, so it's not about legality.
It kind of is. If you want to kill somebody,
So if you lived in the 1800s, you would say that slavery was moral because it was legal then.
it would have been common. I would give you that. I
But
would
is
not.
it
I would protest against it.
moral? Is
It's
it
not
moral?
moral. I would protest against
Right.
it.
Even though it
What
was
people
legal
do.
though, right? Even though it was legal, right?
Humans.
It was legal?
Yes,
Matthew,
it was legal.
was slavery immoral when it was legal?
It was not moral, but it was legal.
It was not moral, right? Even though it was legal. So I'm telling you that for the same reasons that it's immoral to enslave a human, because they're having a subjective experience, it's immoral to use animals. They're having their own experience too.
Animals do not follow under the Constitution. They are not seen as human beings. They are not given the same human rights.
Matthew, that's not the point. She literally
It
just
is.
proved to you that that is not the point.
Well, humans have rights, unlike animals.
Wait, Matthew. So let's go back again, okay? Because you're not seeming to get it. When people of color didn't have the same rights as YT people, was that okay then?
It was not, which is why they protested against it.
Okay, great. So your logic is not logicking.
Kind of is, because you're saying
No, it's not.
moral and it's not okay to kill an animal, but they don't have the rights as a human.
You're not getting it.
I am getting it.
Clearly you're not.
Yeah.
Because you're still here arguing that point.
If you guys are done, you can kick me now.
I mean,
Bye.
it's just about you coming up and asking about veganism. It's not, I don't know. I am asking you why you're not vegan, but I'm trying to do it in a passive way. Like, I don't know.
It's not you, it's just everybody wants to argue. People just don't like vegans because they already have like an image in their head of what vegans are.
Right.
And so they just want to argue.
Yeah. I believe in human rights because I think we're sentient and we care about each one having their own subjective experience. Even when you're in a crowd, right? You still have your own experience, care about what happens to you. And that's the only point I was trying to make with him, is animals care what happens to them.
He's still in the comments, he's not getting it. No one says that animals need human rights. No one said that.
No. If anything, what we're talking about are just rights that they are interested in, which is having their bodily autonomy and being able to live without exploitation from humans. So basically what they're interested in.
Yeah, we just shouldn't unalive them when we don't have to.
Yeah, we shouldn't interfere with them unless we really have to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Bob.
Man,
Hey, Bob, are you over 18?
Yeah.
Are you over?
Why can't I eat
Are
meat?
you? Whoa, calm down. Are you here to have a conversation or just talk over me?
No.
Are you over 18?
Yeah.
Right on. What's your question?
Why can't I eat meat?
You can. I can't force you to do anything. Are you talking about why you maybe shouldn't?
Yeah, like how's it immoral?
Because animals are sentient.
Okay.
They don't want to be used. It's about consent. You can't get consent from them. Would you like to be used without consent?
Womp womp.
Yeah, that's true. You did just womp womp.
Yeah, really.
Gave himself his own sound effect. All right, Manza. I
Yeah,
actually
what's
don't. You
up?
have a. Is it just Manza?
Yeah, it's okay. You just call me that. Yeah.
Okay, Manza. Okay. Are you over 18?
Yes, I am.
And what's your question?
I just want to say that I agree with what y'all talking about because it makes sense to think like that, and I think if a lot of people around the whole world thought like that, it'll be a better place. Not just animals, but people in general, because we do
Yeah.
so many things to the earth that destroy it, and we can do it another way, but we just choose not to. And like people get mad when you're doing something different from the rest of the crowd, which is crazy, because they be thinking that you're in the cult, but they're the one in the cult because they're following the crowd, and they're not even understanding what you think we're talking about. Because nature, like I believe nature was put here, right? I don't know how you believe in creation or whatever, but I just believe in nature in general. You're supposed to just observe and learn from them. And a lot of things that we do today, we learned it from nature. Different things that we do, and it just doesn't make sense. And it's also unhealthy too as well. If you're thinking about your health and everything, it's also unhealthy to keep on consuming animal, especially with the hormones and the chemicals and the things that they put inside the animal. It's just so bad. But I just definitely agree with everything you're saying. Now, what do you think about like honey? Like I know that's like part of the animal product. So do you feel like that's like you shouldn't eat honey too as well?
Yeah. The reason why I don't eat honey is because they're still exploiting the bees. The bees, like, who do you think they make the honey for?
Yeah, yeah,
And it's meant for their winter food. So either we take it and we leave a little bit for them, or we give them a substitute. So we're like relying on their labor, and we give them this, mediocre. Because if the substitute is equal in value to the honey, why don't we just eat the alternative, right?
all right.
So we're robbing them of their labor. On top of that, they're exploited by being bred like cattle. We've now made bees overproduce on purpose. So that right there is also immoral because you're messing around with bees' private parts. They literally will hold open a queen by her lady bits,
Right.
and they'll squish little drone bees to extract their semen, and
Uh-huh.
they'll pipe that into her so that she produces the type of bee they want. On top of that, they wipe out all the natural pollinators, so it's just a nasty system of exploitation, and it not only harms those that they're exploiting, but it harms the native pollinators as well. So
Like one time I was like researching like different parts of the world and everything, and it's kind of like sad how like just different parts of the world of people, animals, and things are just getting exploited. So how do you deal with
yeah.
like because everything that's around us, like somebody, it seems like it has some kind of exploitation towards it. So how
Yeah.
do how do you feel about that and the alternatives? Like for example, like the phone that we on right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
is somebody getting exploited for this phone and the minerals for this phone? Like
Yeah.
it's just so crazy. But do you think the world
I
will ever come to a point where they won't exploit?
Yeah. I think maybe it may not be totally eliminated, but I think we can definitely strive for as close to that as possible. And when it comes to like electronics, I do think that you should be doing your due diligence to research what you're purchasing
Hmm.
and deciding, is it worth purchasing new products, or could you buy refurbished electronic? Could you somehow reuse something that's already been made that doesn't
Yeah.
require more exploitation, if that's, but I would focus mainly on the products that are inherently immoral, like fur, right?
Right.
Leather. We know that those are absolutely not necessary right now. So you could avoid those. Circuses, zoos, those are immoral because they're imprisoning innocent animals for kids to smudge their face up on glass to look at, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you can start with the things that are really obvious, and then animal flesh and secretions that demands an animal be exploited, kept from usually their babies, kept from doing natural tendencies. They've been mutated so that their bodies grow at rates that they can't really handle. So it's really easy to find those really obvious ones, and then as you're going along, you learn about other products like, oh, I didn't realize this had something in it. Let me Google whatever that is. Because it's about what you want to do. Do you want to support someone's exploitation? And if you have the time and capacity to find out what's behind stuff, you should absolutely take that time.
And I also think people if you start gardening, right, you realize how much vegetables actually and vegetables and fruit that how much they actually produce. Because a lot of people they don't realize how much like plants can produce so much, because they be thinking that
Yeah.
like, oh, we're gonna starve if we just eat plant because they won't produce enough, but they actually overproduce. Like
Yeah.
they overproduce a lot, and there's so many things that you can do that you won't even have to eat a lot of a lot of animal products and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah.
In fact, they know now that we can thrive without using animals at all. So, yeah, we're there. We have all the alternatives we could ask for.
So what do you think about people that's in like a desert type of area? Like, what do you think about that? Because I know certain things grow in desert, but they don't have the right soil and everything.
Sure. So there are a lot of places that don't have adequate access to land, resources to grow vegetables. A lot of people don't have access to even just grocery stores, right? So what it is veganism is a mindset. Like I said, it's not a gang. It's not a membership thing. It's you principally not wanting to support animal exploitation. So if someone in those areas that's limited, I would say they themselves are now experiencing an injustice, right? Because now they're forced to cross their principles, because it's a principle to be vegan, right? So it's an injustice for them to not have that option to have access to healthy foods, especially as science comes out and we find out that we actually do better with fewer animal products and more plants. So I would just say that for people, if you want to advocate for those people, there are programs that are in place to help with food security in many places, and you can sign petitions and join those movements. If you live in those areas, also speak up, because it's your voice that starts the demand. So that's my 2 cents on people that live in areas that may not have access to all healthy foods. If they want to be vegan, they'll look in every aspect of their life that they can go without using animals to the best of their ability as practicable as possible. Sorry if that was too many words.
No, you're good. I understand. You're right. You're right about what you're doing. And like you said, I don't understand why people get so mad about because what you saying? You basically saying that you don't want to hurt something if you don't have to, right? So
Right.
I mean, that's not bad. Like, it's nothing that you can argue against about that. So I don't understand why people get so mad. I mean, I know that's the propaganda and the social engineering about eating meat and stuff, and it's all because of like money and how they want your body to react. Because I really feel like it's also a pipeline to the hospitals too as well. Because if you're eating these bad foods, you're gonna get sicker, which is gonna make them more money, and also you're gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
rely on them. It's like it's a lot of things that's wrapped up in
Yeah.
this.
No, you're absolutely right. I always tell people if they want to eat healthy vegan, I always look up the vegan Daily Dozen, and it's just an easy checklist that helps you make sure you get all the things you would need in a day to get all your nutrition. Um, but most people don't really care about being healthy, so that's why I don't really push it too hard.
Yeah.
But I do. If you're healthy, though, you're going to be a better you. You're going to be the best you if you are healthy. So I do hope that people are healthy. But yeah, it's whatever you want to do. Just don't use animals. That's my main focus.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
ever you ever been at work and then like got attacked because people notice that you only eat like a lot of like
Oh
vegetables
yeah.
and fruits and
I
stuff?
wouldn't say attacked. I've never
Yeah.
been attacked at work, but definitely questions. I get questions, and I try to be extra nice to them because I'm at work. But I don't mind questions because I'm glad that people are curious and looking at it. So yeah, I think it's actually better for us vegans to be working among omnivorous people, even though it's hard for us because we have a priority of it's wrong to use someone without your consent, and then people that you work with that you might admire even are chomping on someone's flesh.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. Well,
But,
all right then. I just want to say that.
oh hell yeah! Well, thank you for coming up. Yeah, I'm just here to answer questions today anyway, so I appreciate you taking the time to ask some good questions.
All right.
Yeah, you have a great day.
All right, you too.
Thanks. I'll see you later. It's good to have open-minded people around. Let's see, what time are we looking at now? Well, I might call it here. I feel tired.
Yeah, that's totally understandable.
But I appreciate you being up here. I wish more vegans came up to talk about their favorite products, but I guess everyone's just going to have to go to Ciara's page and buy all her products. Go to TikTok shop where Ciara is. All right.
Yeah,
well, if that wasn't said enough, go check out Ciara's TikTok shop. And yeah, actually, Ciara, do you want to say anything? You want to add anything to that?
No, not really. I was just gonna say, like, maybe if you, I don't know, keep doing these, more people will come up and talk about, their favorite products and stuff. So,
Yeah. I actually kind of I like that it's kind of passive. Yeah, I like it. Seems like just a different tactic, changing things up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you're not following Ciara, go follow her. And I'm going to call it a day for now. Oh, I see Frisia in there. I think I just saw Lori pop in. All right. Well, all the vegans, thank you in the chat. Thank you for being here. All the non-vegans, I still appreciate your curiosity. The trolls, you know what? You're keeping it real, keeping us on our toes, I guess. All right. If you're not vegan, go vegan. And I'll see y'all later. I'll be live on Friday. Live on Friday, 3 p.m. I got it out. All right. See you guys.